finally back again. Thank you to Gloria Gross for filling in. I believe we were talking, has it been 2 months? A lot of things going on in my life, and it's been crazy, but she's able to handle the show, and I appreciate her because, it's nice to be able to be away and know that something's taken care of in a very professional way, and Gloria's just spades in our book with that, so thank you, Gloria. And of course, we have Eddie here today with us, so thank you, Eddie. And a great show for you today. We kind of scaled it back, although we have such great information. We have 2 guests today joining us. Well, 3. We've got a special guest joining us. But 2 subjects we're talking about. Both of them are coming back through you to the town of Prescott Valley because we feel we're one of the most progressive communities in the state of Arizona, working with our police department, our animal control. So we've got some new projects going on, and we're here to share those with you today. So my first guest is Jerry Ferguson. He's the Community Services Officer with the Town of Prescott Valley's Police Department. And also joining him is new to our community. We're just going to share a little love with it. Cody Chewing, who is joining us, also the newest member of the Community Service Officers. So please join me in welcoming Jerry Ferguson. Who needs no introduction because everybody knows him around town and he's just amazing. So great to have you, Jerry.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be a part of Chamber of Commerce and Hot Topics and share with you some of the things that are happening over at the police department. We're grateful for Cody joining us. He's our newest employee in that department, so I wanted to make sure he had some TV coverage. As it's been told before, I have a great face for radio, and he has a great face for television, and so we're grateful he's able to be with us today. What we want to point out today has to do with Project Lifesaver. This is a program that the police department provides for the community at no cost. Project Lifesaver is the only electronic locating device for those who have a tendency to wander, such as Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, and it's both for adult and children and those that may get lost and not know where they are. So this is a program that we have. It began in 1999 in Virginia. It's now all over the United States and also Canada and Australia. And so it's well used. There's been over 3,000 searches, and there's never been one not located across the country when they've been using that. So we believe it's a very helpful device for us when we have them on clients that wear them. I'm going to ask Cody to show you what it looks like on a wrist. It's a bracelet that we attach. It sends out a signal 24/7, and we're able to track it up to 1.5 miles when we're notified and the person is wearing it. It is waterproof. It is able to be worn all the time. We have 14 of those bracelets that are available to be attached to clients. We have 5 already distributed, so that means we have 9 that have yet to be assigned. And so the community can simply contact the police department and let us know what that's like. I want to show you how that works when we have someone that we call. This is our receiver. That's a transmitter. And when we're looking for someone, we simply, you hear that signal. That's 24/7, goes up to 1.5 miles, and it lets us know where they are. We can begin to locate them when we're notified on how to do that. The caregiver also has a tester that they will have every day, and when that red light is flashing, that means that it's working. They will check that every day. If it ceases to work, they contact the police department. We go into the home every 5 weeks or so to change that battery. That keeps us in contact with the family. It lets them know the community service that we provide for them, and we can answer any questions that they have on that. So this is a very helpful device for us in locating people that have wandered away on that. We have them currently on autistic children. I have an 11-year-old that has one. I have a 14-year-old that has one. And then we have adults that have them on as well that have severe Alzheimer's and dementia and tend to wander. And so this is something that is important for us. It cuts down our time and officer expense in looking for someone that is lost. before we put these on somebody, it can take anywhere from an hour to 4 or 5 hours to try to locate somebody when they call us that they're missing. When we go out there, generally within 30 minutes, we will locate the person and be able to pick them up and take them back to where they are. And so, like I say, this is available for any within Prescott Valley jurisdiction, and it's at no cost. We provide that for them, and this helps us help them, and it helps us help us, because we feel that they're safer the more quickly we can find them. In terms of costs, free. We raise the money for it, but the PD ourselves, we've received a couple of grants for which we're very grateful. If you look at one of these bracelets with the attachment, the batteries, the transmitter, and all that's involved, it's about $300 for a year's supply. But we recycle these bracelets because they belong to the police department, and when a client no longer needs it, it comes back to us. We recycle it, goes back on to another client. We've had one of these that has been recycled to 5 different clients.
Wow.
Once they no longer need it, i.e. they've passed away, which we're sorry for when we hear that, or they go into a care facility, or they move out of our jurisdiction, then these are turned back into the police department, and we recycle those and give them to new clients. So as I said, we have 9 available now that we can attach. Anytime we get the call, we'll go out. There is a form that we fill out that's confidential. It goes into our computer system, and anytime a caregiver reports that their family member or whomever it is that has the bracelet have walked away, they don't know where they are, we'll immediately put this into practice and get out there and try to locate them. The caregiver is responsible for making sure that the patient or client has it on 24 hours a day. A lot of times with sundown and things like that, they'll walk at nighttime. If they don't know they're gone, by the time they wake up, they don't know where they are. This will cover about 1.5 miles flat land, and a person with Alzheimer's or autism can walk. They walk about 4 miles per hour, and it's not just within a short distance. They can cover a lot of territory. But we start with what's familiar to them, and then we expand our search area to go beyond that time. But the caregivers are responsible for making sure it's on 24 hours a day. They're responsible for checking it every day. They have this checker that I showed you a while ago, and they're responsible for reporting as soon as possible when somebody walks away. The greatest challenge law enforcement has is people wait too long to contact us. They say, well, they'll come back, or we can find them, or whatever, and by the time we come on scene, they could have gone 1 mile, 1.5 miles, 2 miles. We found as many as 4 miles, 5 miles away when we locate them. So the more quickly we're notified when they're wearing this locating bracelet, then the more quickly we are able to find them. So it's a great opportunity to be able to share with the community. Now I know this goes far beyond the Prescott Valley jurisdiction, but it's a privilege for us to be able to share this with those as a part of our community so that we can share with them and see what's going on. So I want to thank Marnie for what she does to support the PD and all that's going on with that. We know that it's a good opportunity for us.
Jerry, you mentioned it sounds like you have already used this on some of our residents in
Yes.
Prescott Valley.
Yes.
So you've had an occasion where the caregivers called you and you've actually had to go out and find them.
We've had 2 that we've had calls on that we've had to go out and find. One we found about 1 mile from home,
Wow.
and another we found just a few blocks from home. But it's important that we get notified as soon as possible when they have them on. Some people get a little insecure about, how can you know where I'm at? That's why we use the word locating instead of tracking.
Right, right.
And so it's a locating opportunity. It's been interesting because one young man, one autistic child, was running away, and when we put the bracelet on him, he hasn't gone anywhere. He stayed local.
He knows.
One of our ladies had the bracelet on. She was 78 years old, had the bracelet on for over a year. And before her caregiver passed away and she had to go into a care facility out of our jurisdiction, The last time I changed her batteries, the caregiver made a comment and said, "Do you realize ever since you put the bracelet on, she's not even tried to walk away?" And
Yeah.
interestingly enough, though, a week later, she walked, and she's the one that we found about a mile away from the house. And she's currently out of our jurisdiction, and so we bring that bracelet back in and we reassign that after we clean it up. But that's a very good question.
Second question is, does it require a doctor's order
No.
for the caregiver to obtain one for their person?
We get doctor's information as a part of our documentation. Does not require doctor's order. There has to be a track record of wandering. In other words, if they're not wandering, then if we have a call for the bracelet, we want to put it on those that tend to wander.
Right.
But for those that are not wandering, then we just encourage them to, pay close attention to those that have Alzheimer's and dementia. But it is important for us to be notified when they have those on. The phone number is, you can either call our dispatch, 928-772-9267, and ask for the people at Prescott Valley that are handling the Project Lifesaver program, or you can call my office directly at 928-772-5114, and we can get that information to you. But those are good questions. Any other questions?
Well, it comes to make me think that you said it is the Prescott Valley jurisdiction, but this is something that actually every community can utilize for their citizens to make sure that we're keeping them safe. And those with those medical conditions that they have no control on some of
Yes.
those wanderings because of they're where they are in life. I think it's brilliant and commend you guys for that. That is just awesome.
Right now, we're the only agency in Arizona that have this, although there are over, I forget how many thousands of agencies in the United States that have them. We're the only ones in Arizona, and the disappointment that we have is that it's only within our jurisdiction. We can't, speak for the other agencies around us. I did have a meeting about a year ago with all the agencies in Yavapai County on this side of the mountain, and let them know what we were doing and asked if we wanted to expand that by having teamship, but nothing has come across with that yet for partnering. But we're grateful to be a pace setter in doing that. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity of sharing together. Thank you, Marnie. We appreciate what you're doing.
Wow, thank you so much. I think Gloria wants to put one of those on me, though. And track where I'm going.
They've actually threatened to put one on me.
They can't find us, Jerry. They can't find us. Again, progressive Prescott Valley Police Department is on the cutting edge, taking care of its citizens and working hard with the community. And I just can't say enough. I'm so proud of our police department.
Thank you.
Everyone there, and especially our community service officers going out and working and coming up with these things that's amazing. Isn't that amazing? I'm not surprised that at least somebody doesn't even have 5 of them in their agency that would be able to, track the people, because we hear stories about that all the time.
This publicity will help.
Absolutely, because how many of us we deal with Alzheimer's and our families, and then our autism kids. It's finding them, and don't be afraid to call. Don't say,
Exactly.
well, I think they'll find their way home. Chances are, don't wait to call, because that's what they want. They want you to call them so they can get out there and use their things.
Yeah.
Beam them back. Thank you,
Star
Jerry.
Trek.
I know. Thank you, Jerry and Cody, again.
Thank you.
Great job, police department. Okay, well, we're continuing on that vein because, again, Prescott Valley Police Department, our community, town of Prescott Valley, always working at what's better for our community. And one of the things, we are a dog-loving community. I can speak for the chamber here. We all have our fur babies. But, there's people lose their dogs and things happen. And I got James Rice, you're joining me. He's our animal control officer. And, this year you kind of lucked out in, sort of speaking, we did not have fireworks. But 4th of July tends to be one of the big nights where dogs tend to run off. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you and you can explain what's going on in our animal control department.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here, being with Chamber of Commerce and Hot Topics. This is a great time. There's a lot of great things that are happening in animal control, and I'm so excited to share about them. Some of the things, as we have already talked about, the progressiveness that we're trying to do at Prescott Valley, animal control, we're wanting to jump on board as well. And so a couple of the things that we have done is improved our website. And we're doing that for the community. We want the community to be able to have better access to us so that we can provide a better service to them. And so two of the things that we have improved on our website is, the first thing is we always have calls of barking dogs. There's a lot of barking dogs that are out there. It's one of our #1 calls. Unfortunately, because of how our call volume works, it's one of our lower priority ones. A dog that is attacking someone or a loose is a higher priority. But we don't want to minimize that barking dog and how it's causing a problem for the community, causing a problem for the person who is calling us. So we want to have a system that allows the community to reach us better. So we've developed a web page that gives the community suggestions on how they can solve those barking dogs. We give them suggestions of talking to their neighbors, looking at what some of the problems are, is suggestions, even for the person who has the dog that is barking, what can I do? Why is my dog barking? So we look at those kind of things to solve the problem. But then that doesn't always fix the problem, just those suggestions alone. So we have a form where the people can actually get on and notify animal control that there's a problem. So they fill out this form, and it lets us know, gives us great details, so we have the history. Because many of the times we don't know what's going on. We're coming into this blind. We don't have the information. And we want to have that information so that we can do our best job for them. So we get this information, and the way the process goes is once we have that, then we can go and we can talk to the dog owner. We will go out there. We will try to talk to them at their house by giving them a warning, verbally or written. Our goal is to fix the problem. That's our #1 goal here with animal control, is we want to fix the problem. We want to improve it for the dog. We want to improve it for the dog owner and the community that's being disturbed by this. So we look at that and we talk to them and suggest, if that doesn't happen by just a good conversation, we can lead to having to cite them so that we can hopefully motivate them to look deep at what's going on. So that's one of the first things that we're doing on our website, is improved availability for us to be able to get better information, and the community be able to fill this out. As soon as they fill that information out, it submits it to every animal control officer. We will respond to you within 24 hours and get back to you so that then we can go out there and fix that. The other thing that happens a lot, and we've gotten numerous questions about what to do when my dog has gotten loose. We get the call of the dog running down the street, and we can respond to that really easily. But what do you do when we don't know where the dog is? We have no information. I have nowhere to go. Well, many times we're patrolling throughout the whole area. We're trying to get into every single community almost every day. We'd probably drive by areas where an animal could have gone lost. So what we've done is we've developed a web page, a part of there on our web page, a link that they can go to that tells people what to do if they've lost their dog. We give them suggestions on who to contact, like the Humane Society, their website. They can actually click on links that actually take them to their website, how to contact them, and they can report that their dog has gone missing. And they could be looking at, maybe they already have that dog. Someone had turned it in. Wow, there's the dog. I can get my dog and my family member back home. But there's also other things that they can do, is they can click on a number of different national ones that are really good information where they can report their dog missing. And a lot of the community, that's such a great thing about our community, will go out and look. We have some that are through Facebook, that they're going to go and you can report it, and then people go out and they'll drive and help you look for your dog. But in our page, we have a place where you can report to us, just like any of the number of other sites that I've talked about. You can report to us. You give us your name, you give us your information of your pet that is missing, cat or dog, and you can provide a link where you has a picture, so we can actually see what your pet looks like, not just a verbal description or a written description. Now we have a picture, and now we can connect that. As soon as we find that, we will contact you, we'll return it, we'll drive it straight to your house and connect you back to your pet. That's our goal, and so we're trying to find new ways of doing that. The one things that we tell people is don't lose hope. I was sharing a story about a dog that we had that had a microchip, and I encourage everyone, microchip your pets. We will scan every single pet that we see, and we will make sure your information is up to date on the microchip. Don't let it the information address change lapse. Keep it up to date. And so we will take that information, that address, that information. We'll contact you and we'll take the pet home. But we had a pet that we scanned and we found the address. We contact the person. The person actually lived in New Mexico. Somehow, I cannot tell you, but somehow it traveled to Arizona. Whether it was by somebody else or what story, if I could ask the dog, it would probably have an amazing story. But we found out that the owner had been missing this dog for over a year. And amazing enough, we were able to get that dog back. And that's a really cool thing, keeping it up. Don't lose that faith that your dog could come home. And so we will do that, keep that up to date. Also, we encourage everybody, license your dogs. It is the law, license your dogs. If you're in Prescott Valley, you can do that. You can go to the police department, you can license your dogs. You need to have a current rabies shot, go to your vet. There's a number of vets also listed on our website, which if you wanted to know what vets are in Prescott Valley, we have a list of them. You can look it up, look at your area, find our vets are great up here. They're going to help you out. So you can get a current rabies vaccine for your pet, and then you can have them licensed. We encourage that. With that, some of the great things, this last month, we actually want to always be looking at our laws and how we are doing things. Are we representing the laws correctly? And so one of the challenges that was asked to me is to look at the animal control laws, and are we in compliance? Are we up to date? Are we, again, progressive of where we're at? And there are some things that we wanted to change and move. One of the things that we wanted to look at, there's 2 laws that we looked at. One of them is dog at large. Currently, the way the law states it is that it is a criminal offense. First time ever, your dog, the wind blows, the gate open, the dog gets out, you could get a criminal ticket for your dog getting out. We looked at that and said, that seems a little severe on someone that may have been in an accident. And so we've actually changed that law to the first offense within 12 months, that it is a civil offense. It's like a petty offense. If that person does not fix that problem and within 12 months it repeats, it actually turns to a criminal. So we actually still have the criminal thing to motivate the person to keep their dog in, but we also have a side of it that says, okay, we're going to be a little bit more understanding of that accident that happens and give some grace in there. With that, also with a barking dog, we are doing the same thing. Dogs bark, that happens. The law states 5 minutes or more can be considered a disturbing the peace. If this is the first time your dog has ever had this issue and you end up getting cited, the citation currently, and it's going to be changing, currently is criminal, and then now it's going to be changing to a civil. If it's a problem again, just like the loose dog, the dog at large, if it happens within 12 months and you get cited again, it goes to a criminal offense. So the scales raise. We've also looked at the cost of the monetary of the cost for the penalties that come, and we've raised those. And a lot of that comes to the judge's discretion of what is the right thing. And so we look at those kind of things as well. But the big thing we always encourage, license your dog. We are changing our fees on our licensing. We are changing our fees to $10 for unaltered animals. So your pet that is unaltered, for a 1-year license is $10. Then it goes, the second fee for a 2-year goes to a $16, and then a 3-year for unaltered is a $22. Now, if your dog is unaltered and it hasn't had a surgery of any sorts, it's $36. It's a $1 increase for a 1 year. Year 2 license is $56, and year 3 license for an unaltered dog is $76. We've changed a number of other things that are in there, and I encourage you to look at the laws that are going on within that. These laws that I've just kind of talked about are going to be coming in effect this month on the 28th. January 28th, we will be, the laws will change over, and we will be following these new laws and these new fees. The last piece to this is we are, again, always looking to improve how we're doing things, and we're providing a new way of how we're going to license. We're going to be we have approved, we have a contract with a company that is going to be walking alongside of us for our pet licensing. And what this licensing, what they're going to provide us is an online system.
Yes.
And so now, instead of when your license is expired, it will remind you. You'll get a mailing in it. You can fill out the information online and mail by phone. You can do any one of these things, and then when you send in your payment and everything's verified, your new license will be mailed to you. So it makes the service so much easier. It's readily available. It will remind you when it's time for a new license, when your rabies shot is due. So this service and much, much, much more are going to be some of the things that are going to be happening in animal control and the changes. I want to thank you guys and look for these changes that are coming. I want to thank you, everybody, for your guys' support. Yes.
James, I want to confirm it was July 28th. These new laws will be
July.
July 28th. Okay, great.
July 28th. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Just
think
this month.
it's a Saturday is when it
Uh-huh.
will take effect, and the town council approved everything and went really well.
And the online licensing kind of thing, when is that anticipated to be up and running?
So the goal of that, and that's a little bit more of a process because we have to work with the company, it could take another 3 months to get everything and all the data sent over to them because we're going to send all of our current information.
Great, okay. Any other questions? Woo!
Thank you.
Love what you're doing
Thank
over
you,
there.
thank you.
Love what you're doing. Hi, so I was taking care of my dad's dog because he was ill, and so my dad's dog was a barker. This has been about 4 or 5 years ago, but I get a little note from animal control back then, your dog's barking, and I said, it's not my dog, but yeah, I know that it can be a nuisance to other people, and I'm really cautious about my 2 little rats that love to, bark sometimes. But anyway, great things going on in animal control, great things going on with community service officers and the Prescott Valley Police Department in our system of being able to find people.
Thank you.
I think it's great, and I think so many good things going on. Hope you all mark your calendars for August 25th and 26th, the 40th anniversary pinnacle event for the town of Prescott Valley. We'll all be out at the Civic Center. There's music, there's activities, there's food and vendors and displays and exhibitions and demonstrations, so much going on, so keep an eye out. Go visit the town of Prescott Valley's website, pvaz.org. pvaz.net, thank you, because you can know the chamber at pvchamber.org, and you can find out more of what's going on. So mark your calendar though, big event going on, and the fireworks we didn't have on July 4th, they'll be shooting them off on the 25th, so join us out there. Meanwhile, everybody have a great month. It's good to be back. Thank you all for joining us, and have fun.